The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
So, Barry got to go see it in true IMAX in Omaha, right?
Yep.
We didn't get to see it in IMAX, Max and I.
We saw it in style at Fork and Screen.
Right.
Lounging.
Um,
Had a pizza.
let's just jump right into it. I think, we've been trying to be spoiler free, but I think this is probably a big enough release and maybe difficult to talk about without spoilers.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into
Completely difficult.
spoilers?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
spoilers for this one.
So let's just assume it's a big enough release that most people have seen it. If you haven't seen it, don't watch the show. We're going to talk about spoilers. Barry, let's start out with you. You avoided anything and everything about the movie
Yep.
in anticipation.
Barry had no idea going in what to expect, really.
So, what did this do for you?
Well, I rewatched the trailer. I'll say that. Let's start out with that. I watched the trailer for the first time today,
Okay.
and I was really glad that I didn't, because seeing some of those things I'd been waiting for, and I could have picked up on some of the story.
Yeah.
That being said, I had to see it. I went and saw it again yesterday because I had an Avengers moment where I kind of fell asleep a little bit in the middle. So I went and saw it again, and I'll just say I'm still torn. I can't tell where I would put it in my 3. I mean, I enjoyed it, but there's very little Batman, which was one thing that was really surprising.
So you don't know where you put it in the 3.
The
So that
trilogy.
means you liked it a lot then.
I
right? 'Cause
liked
you
it,
love
yeah.
Begins and
I
Dark
like
Knight.
Begins and Dark Knight.
So-
I'd probably still say it's the weakest of the 3. I'd say that. But definitely enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
But I had
Alright.
a lot of nitpicks with it.
How was the IMAX?
IMAX was grand. It was huge. It was really awesome. Like, totally worth going up there to see anything again. It was cheap. It was only like $13, and no different than here. So
Because it was in Omaha.
yeah,
I heard they did some cool things like, they didn't just do big action scenes in IMAX. He was a little more creative with it, and he did like
yeah. There's a lot.
the background sequences, flashbacks, went to IMAX. Whereas normally, maybe flashbacks would be a different color or
Yeah.
with
They
the
also
haze,
did,
something like that. They did in IMAX.
And then another thing was that part. It's kind of he used it so much and tried to go to do like that it would be like a 2 seconds IMAX, and then it'd go back to something else, and then it just flashed IMAX again.
Can you tell?
So yeah, because you can see the screen expanding.
Oh, okay.
So some of that was kind of
Jumpy.
yeah, but overall, like seeing all of that, like all that real estate, it was fantastic.
All right, Max.
It took me a little bit to digest the film afterwards. Like I had to kind of think about it and had to think back on the other 2 films. And if you take it as a whole, like if you take it with Batman Begins and Dark Knight, man, I just loved it. Like, yeah, I just thought he really went out for story and for characters. Like the characters kind of reached their end, and I was at first I thought, man, there's a lot of superfluous characters, like that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm so invested in these other characters, I don't want to see these new ones thrown in. But then I realized they kind of really accented the stories of the main characters, and I ended up just thinking about it right now. Like I really loved it, and I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah, if you look at it as a whole, like you said, I mean, it's an amazing story, great trilogy. But yeah, I don't know. As an individual single movie, I think you got it. I came out wanting more Batman. I mean, there wasn't much Batman. There wasn't really his brilliance, his setting up of things like in The Dark Knight, and making things happen. I don't know. I love the movie, but I definitely had my problems with it. I didn't like it as much as The Dark Knight, but again, if you look at it as one big story, I mean, it's just awesome.
And I think there's a lot of little things that I didn't think about at first because it's such a huge spectacle, and like, man,
Yeah.
I don't know how they made it this film, but there's so much going on that if you take a look at the little things, like I didn't think about this, but the Joseph Gordon-Levitt character who turns out to be Robin, which doesn't make sense. His name was never Robin. Like
Yeah,
that'd be
I
like,
think it was just a fan
I know,
service, but still.
yeah. But that was cool. But he's the new Batman, and he's like, instead of being a rich orphan, you know what I mean? He's like the poor orphan, and Bruce Wayne's company is gone, and Bruce Wayne sets up his mansion to be, you know, orphan or whatever.
Boys
There's
home.
a lot, yeah, boys home for orphans. There's a lot of little stuff that really shows Bruce Wayne like came around and changed, and his character grew, and you don't see that a lot. Like I think To Kill Him would have been they don't kill him, spoiler. I think To Kill Him would have been
Doesn't work.
would have been a total throwaway. Like Alfred really got to him in that speech about Rachel, where he says, you know,
I didn't like that scene at all.
I loved it. I didn't like it at first, but afterwards I loved it because Bruce Wayne, like, he wouldn't have changed. Maybe he would have wanted to die, but I don't know. I feel like it freed him. And like all the scenes with Catwoman, like she really fucked him up. Like she really sold him out. And like he's never mad at her. He just kind of likes her, you know, and just like
Yeah.
she's the levity of the film, even though she does these terrible, horrible things.
Yeah, she sent him to fucking die.
I know.
Yeah.
But I like that scene where she sent him to die with Bane too, because the gate closes, and like, you know, even if she felt bad about it or made the mistake, like
There's
she
nothing
couldn't
she-
go in,
yeah.
and like, and that's what the whole film's about. I thought was it dealt with all their past mistakes, like killing Ra's al Ghul or not saving him, that came back to him.
Mhm.
Lying about Harvey Dent, that came back to them, and all of them, Commissioner Gordon, everybody. So yeah, I loved it. I totally loved it. I loved Bane. You know, you can't beat Joker, but I thought Bane was just like.
I found him hard to understand.
Yeah.
Out of the movie.
Some of it I didn't understand. I don't know what he said.
I still don't understand I mean, I get the need of the mask, but I feel like they could have done something a little bit more with it.
It kind of weakens his character a bit too. Like,
Explains,
That's
they
what I
don't
thought,
explain it
which
very
is
well.
weird.
Like, I don't know. You would think getting punched in the face that thing wouldn't last very long, but he seemed to get just pummeled for a long time, and then he just randomly got hit, and then just went nuts. Like, I don't know. There should have been something more with that, because I just didn't understand or really comprehend why that made it such a big deal.
I also didn't like Bruce starting out with a limp and a hurt leg, just so they can give him some magical device and
Mhm.
be completely ignored for the rest of the movie. Like, why even have him have a limp at the beginning of the movie if you're just gonna put a magic device on his leg and completely ignore it for the remainder of the movie?
Well, I'm sure it was just because they wanted to say, you know, his body's completely destroyed. Like he's slowly, you know.
Yeah, but
not
they
even
didn't
slowly,
do anything with
quickly
that.
Killing himself.
They didn't do anything with that with the rest of the movie. He was still just Batman. It wasn't
Yeah.
like he was, I mean, I guess he was out of the game for 8 years, so he
Mhm.
was, you know, maybe not as efficient in fighting, and obviously couldn't stand up to Bane, you know, pure power. But it's not like they did anything with him being deteriorated.
Well, his
and-
Prison City workout really helped, you know.
and that's true.
That little bit of, what was it?
I thought what
A
saved
month. That's other, like, the timeline jumping was weird too, because it'd just be, you know, it's like, oh, it's 8 years, oh, it's a week, oh, now it's 2 months, now it's back to a week, and now he's just there, like he just gets in the city just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff, I felt like it just seemed a little weak that he just, out of all of Gotham, he knew exactly when, you know, Gordon was getting ready to get killed, when Joseph Gordon-Levitt was going to get killed. Like, his timing was too perfect, somewhat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Little things like that, when you start, it was so fun, but like, you can start nitpicking the hell out of it.
I also got pretty bored during the first half of the movie.
Oops.
It went,
No, I like the mask, and I liked his eyes because, like, what's her
No,
name?
I think the mask looks good. I'm just saying, like, the purpose of it. That's what I'm.
Oh, I like I mean, I liked everything about the mask and the, you know, but I thought it was cool. But when he, what's her name? Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
Talia.
When Talia came in, you know, Bane's like eyes changed, and he was just like, you know, he was weak and because his mask was messed up, and she was fixing it, and like his eyes changed. I don't know. I thought it was.
Were you okay with him just getting blown out of the way, like
Yeah.
by Catwoman just out of nowhere?
I love that because, like, you know, that's Batman's whole problem is he's like he won't kill these guys. Like, why can't you just kill him? And then
Didn't she have a line whenever she?
Yeah.
shots
Yeah,
at
she
the
goes-
Bat Rocket?
she goes-
I don't get your gun thing. Or
yeah, and I think that's cool. I thought that was cool. I mean,
I loved.
There's
Catwoman,
nothing I
though.
didn't like.
There wasn't. I didn't. I
Yeah.
thought I might not, but I really enjoyed her throughout the whole thing. I like how he tried to, as much as, you know, I see faults in it. The book ending of it was pretty cool. You know, bringing it full circle, like trying to get it back. And you're like, I'm sure you know, we would have got a completely different movie if Heath Ledger wouldn't have died, though. Like,
Yeah, that's what
a lot of this writing goes into because of a respect to him, and also just because he died.
I would have loved to see the movie that we would have gotten if Heath Ledger hadn't died.
Yeah,
or just read it.
I mean, I don't know. That's tough because they totally just glossed over the Joker. They didn't explain it.
They didn't talk about him once.
Yeah,
he was never mentioned.
I like how they did that. And someone was saying at work, like, they thought maybe the scene where Scarecrow was being the judge maybe had been something would have involved the Joker, but I don't know if that's true.
I think the Joker probably would have had a huge part in this movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I would have loved to have seen that movie.
In the comics, I mean, I feel like Bane and the Joker are hard to have on the same. Can't have them at the same time, kind of, because they both kind of represent the same thing, just like total destruction, I guess. But there's just a little bit of difference.
More physical.
Yeah, Bane's more physical.
And
Joker's more
the whole thing.
Anarchy. Bane's more like.
I was really surprised when he broke his back, though. I didn't know where they were gonna go with it, like Bane-wise, if they were really gonna do that.
Did he break it, or
he
I don't know. Popped his spine out, and that guy slapped it back in.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Popped a vertebrae out, and then he was able to punch a vertebrae back.
I also really loved the end, like the last 10 minutes, all the little reveals.
Yeah.
They felt very like Easter eggy, like light. They weren't big in your face.
Yeah.
Like this was really this. This was like it was
like
a cool little
subtle
like fan service type stuff.
The fixed bat signal. Gordon noticing the fixed bat signal,
the autopilot thing, the Robin. I mean,
the music was great too. At the very end, when the score swelled, like as soon as Michael Caine looked up, and then the pearls being gone, and then just seeing the back of her neck, like she wasn't even in focus.
I didn't know that was her. I didn't know it was Selena Kyle or whatever.
So
I had to read it, or Steven told me. It doesn't matter, but.
What do you guys think it would have been cooler if it would have been left a little more ambiguous and we wouldn't have known if they would have cut the autopilot scene out and just had Alfred at the end look up and smile as opposed and then not show Batman or Bruce Wayne?
That'd been cool.
Or do you like that they showed Bruce Wayne and showed that he was obviously alive?
If Alfred had looked up and smiled, I would have been like,
he's alive.
Bruce Wayne. Like, no matter what, I would have. Even if they went to his grave and they said Bruce Wayne's dead, I'd still be like,
until they dig up the body.
Yeah, until they dig up the body, DNA test. I have a friend who saw him die.
All right, we're probably running really long. I have better or worse. I was gonna do all thirds of trilogies.
Better.
But since we're gonna do a special later this week, discussing trilogies, I decided to just do all Christopher Nolan movies. So, better or worse, Memento?
Better.
I could watch it more. I like Memento a lot, but I think it's...
I watched Memento and Rewind, and
it's tough.
It ruined it.
It's tough.
I'll say better as a whole, but as an individual movie, not as good as Memento. If that's cheating, I don't know. Inception?
Better.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say better.
I'll say equal. I liked them both.
That's not happening.
But I probably would watch this one more, so I'll say better.
All right, Insomnia.
Better.
And The Prestige. Next, you know, it's from
Better.
All right, Prestige. I liked it way, but I didn't care for The Prestige much. All right, so next movie we'll be doing is The Watch. We'll be doing our expectations next, and then we got a special discussing trilogies later. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.